Hi, I'm Jay from E2 Language. One of the biggest problems students face in PTE Write Essay and IELTS Writing Task 2 is generating ideas. If you can't generate good ideas, then you won't get a high score. Let me tell you why. The importance of good ideas. Ideas precede language. Ideas come before language. In other words, you have an idea and then the language will follow it. The language will describe your idea. So the clearer your idea in your mind, the clearer your language will be on the page. You cannot get a high PTE or IELTS score if your ideas are unclear. Clear writing comes from clear ideas. You need to know where you're going and how to get there. You need 3 clear ideas. When you look at the question prompt, whether it be the PTE question prompt or the IELTS question prompt, you need to have 3 ideas. You need to ask yourself 3 simple questions. Question 1. What's my overall opinion? The first thing you should think when you look at the question prompt is, what's my overall opinion? Look at this question prompt and ask yourself what your overall opinion is. Studying history has little value in the modern world. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Or do you have a more nuanced opinion where you might kind of agree and kind of disagree? Whatever the case may be, you need to have one of those 3 opinions. Studying history has little value in the modern world. I agree. Studying history is a waste of time. I disagree. Studying history is important. I kind of agree that studying history can be a waste of time, but I kind of agree that studying history can be important too. To put it simply, when you look at a question prompt, you need to A, agree, B, disagree, or C, see both sides. Your overall opinion is your conclusion. The first question of what's my overall opinion is extremely important for 2 reasons. First, you have just thought of your conclusion. The answer to your first question will become the final sentence of your essay. Secondly, that question is important because now that you know what your conclusion is, you have a path forward. You know where you're going. You are not going around and round in circles, writing while thinking. Question 2. Why do I agree or disagree? Let's look at the question prompt again. Studying history has little value in the modern world. It doesn't matter in the PTE or IELTS whether you agree or disagree or have a nuanced opinion. You're allowed to think what you want. You're not graded on your opinion. You are, however, graded on your language use. But remember that there is a direct connection between clear ideas and clear writing. So while it doesn't matter what you think, your ideas must be clear so that your writing is clear. If you looked at the question prompt and agreed that history is a waste of time, then now you need to come up with a good reason why. This will be your paragraph 1. And if you looked at the question prompt and disagreed and thought history is important, you now need to explain why. This is your paragraph 1. And if you looked at the question prompt and thought, I kind of agree and disagree, then you should come up with your first reason why you agree or disagree. Don't mix your ideas. This is your paragraph 1. Question 3. Why do I agree or disagree? You need to ask yourself the exact same question to come up with the clear idea for your paragraph 2. However, make sure that your second idea is distinct, very different from your first idea. You don't want to repeat yourself. If you can't think of a second distinct idea, then stop. Think. Wait. It will come to you. Recap. So I'm sitting in the PTE exam in front of the computer, or I'm sitting in the IELTS exam with the pencil in my hand and the question prompt is in front of me. I have two options. I can start writing without thinking and risk getting a low score. Or I can stop and think for a minute and radically boost my grades. I need to ask myself 3 questions. I firstly need to ask myself, what's my overall opinion? I do this to cut a path to the conclusion so I know where I'm going, so I don't write without purpose. I can fully agree, I can fully disagree, or I can go half-half. I then ask myself, why do I agree or why do I disagree, which becomes my first paragraph. I then ask myself again, why do I agree or why do I disagree, which becomes my second paragraph. But this idea needs to be very different from your first idea. All up, these thought processes will take you less than a minute, but they will profoundly change the way that you write. I know you'll be nervous in the exam, but you need to stop and think. Questions? Cool. We have a couple of questions from our E2 users. Khaled from Egypt asks, do the stop and think questions apply to all the PTE question prompts? The answer to this one is that stopping and thinking applies to all question prompts, both PTE and IELTS. The questions you ask yourself may need to change for the IELTS because the question prompts don't just ask whether you agree or disagree, or your opinion, but they also ask you to think about the advantages and disadvantages, or the problem and the solution, in which case you just change the question you ask yourself slightly. Bianca from Brazil asks, won't the stop and think method waste valuable writing time? Think about it this way. Spending 1 minute thinking about the question prompt and asking yourself 3 simple questions will actually save you time because you will know where you're going and you will know how to get there. It's like knowing the directions to a destination. It's much quicker to get to a friend's house, for example, if you know the address and the fastest roads to get there. e2language.com. Now you should try to implement this method. Go to www.e2language.com to sign up for free.